Ah, the beach. There's no place like it on a warm, sunny day. Your fellow game players feel the same way too. Get your deck chair as close to the water as you can to gain the most points. But beware, the closer to the water you get, the more risk there is to being washed away by a wave, gaining you no points. High Tide, designed by Dirk Henn and published by Queen Games, can accommodate 3 to 6 players with the double-sided game board. In addition to the main game components and rules, the game comes with 4 expansion modules: Coins, Shark Alert, Surfer, and Baywatch. Once players are familiar with the main game, they should consider adding some of the following expansions to increase the challenge and variety of their games. All expansions may be combined in any way the players wish. Now let's look at an overview of the main game. At the start of the game, all players have a sunshade, a deck chair, a victory point marker, and a beach towel in their player color, positioned on the correct track on the game board. The sunshades indicate player color. The deck chair rental tile is on its own starting position on the dice track. This will move down the track as game rounds are completed. The 2 sizes of wave tiles are placed next to the game board. The colored dice are placed in the dice bag. On a typical turn, a player has 3 choices. Randomly draw 2 dice from the dice bag, roll them, and accept the result. Or the player may choose to decline the result of the dice roll, placing the dice on the topmost unoccupied space on the dice track, and draws 2 new dice from the bag and rolls. A player may refuse this roll as well, as long as there is still at least 2 spaces just before the deck chair rental tile or the end of the track. In both instances, once a dice roll is accepted, the player moves their deck chairs accordingly, and the used dice go into the dice pool. The third choice is only possible if there are dice on the dice track. The active player can choose a pair of dice from the dice track, moving their deck chairs up the beach. At the end of a turn, the player places their towel on the next open space on the dice track. At the beginning of the next player's turn, the deck chair rental tile is slid 1 space down the track. The order of the towels will determine player order for the next round. The last to place will be the start player. At the end of each round, the waves crash upon the shore, whose deck chair will be swept away. If there is 1 dice pair on the dice track, these dice will determine the beaches where wave tiles are to be added. A large tile will be added to the beach of the same color as the left die on the track. A small tile will be added to the beach of the same color as the right die. Each tile is placed connecting to the water or to any existing tile. In case there is still 1 unoccupied space on the dice track, the last player who had taken their turn draws 2 dice from the bag. They roll these dice and place them on the empty space, and wave tiles are placed. The game ends as soon as at least 1 deck chair is standing in the water. It does not matter if this happened by moving a deck chair into the water or by placing a wave tile at the end of the game round. Otherwise, the game ends after 6 game rounds. To score the game, first remove any deck chairs in the water. These score no points. Then points are awarded for each single beach, one after the other. The player whose deck chair is nearest to the water gains 4 victory points. The player whose deck chair is second next to the water gains 2 victory points. In a 5 to 6 player game, third place gains 1 victory point. All deck chairs still at the beach bar earn 1 victory point. If several deck chairs share the same place on the beach, the one furthest to the right wins the tie. Use the victory point markers to mark the points on the victory points track. After all 6 beaches have been evaluated, the player with the most victory points is the winner of the game.